Hello, everyone. Welcome to Flow 360. I'm your host, Dheeraj Adhikari. And as always, I have a new guest here today, Zach Burgum. He's a photographer. Welcome to Flow
Correct.
360.
Thanks, Rash.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Yeah, so very happy to have you. We tried too many times.
Yeah. Finally
schedule,
here. Yeah,
but,
finally here.
Thank you. Let's get it started. I want to ask you, Zach, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Houston, and I was there till I was 18, and then I went to school in Austin.
Gotcha.
So I grew up in downtown Houston. A lot of people now say they're from Houston. They're really from the Spring or Katy or the outskirts. And I'm kind of a snob when it comes to that, so I was in downtown Houston.
Downtown Houston.
Yeah. So,
okay. How was your childhood experience growing up in Houston?
It was great. I grew up in downtown, as I said, but I grew up in we had a weird piece of property. I lived my fence shared a fence with a graveyard. So I know, which creeps some people out, but for me, it was just we had a gate our gate shared the face with the gate. So I was out there hitting golf balls
in the graveyard.
Yeah, in the graveyard, and I never, I grew up there. I didn't think anything of it, and so I had a 4-wheeler. We'd take it around the graveyard and stuff, and it never creeped me out. But
such a different experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how many times you probably played hide and seek in the graveyard.
Oh, we used to just watch funerals from the backyard, just in the middle of the day at 7, watching we had some celebrities die out there. It's exciting stuff. We had Bill Murray came to a funeral one time, and we were pulled up in a limo. Big day in the cemetery.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a different childhood experience.
Yeah. So both my parents were house painters at the time.
Gotcha.
They did interior murals and that kind of thing. So they were both artists.
Was there ever a time when you got scared though?
Not of the graveyard, but I was scared of everything. I'm still to this day think I'm going to get robbed or killed or something like that. So I'm a pretty scared person in general, but not of the graveyard. No.
Gotcha. How about your early education, man? Did you attend public school? How were they school?
I got expelled from first grade.
What happened?
For having I had a fishing knife on me, and I got which is apparently no good, and I got expelled from first grade. And I was in public school. No, it's the first time back. Don't say that too loud here. Yeah. And then I went to all boys Catholic school until 12th grade after that.
Gotcha.
So it was quite a difference from that. But
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. Don't bring the knife. Stay in school. Yeah, that's my advice too.
Yeah. Well, as a kid, you probably didn't think about it.
I barely remember it. You know what I mean? I barely remember it. And but anyway, so
yeah. It's sad to see things happen on these schools. It's kind of scary, honestly, especially if you have.
Oh, do you see stuff happen, or you hear about?
I mean,
rarely,
things happen, in different part of the country and different places. So
totally,
it is scary,
Yeah,
especially
it's even scarier now than it was when I was growing up. The stuff that's happened is crazy, way crazier. So, anyways,
right.
So the question was early childhood.
Yeah. So how was the school? Were you a pretty good kid at the school?
Besides that, I was a very mediocre student, my entire life. My drive was,
cared less.
I think I graduated high school in the dead 50 percentile of everything. I was a pretty mildly motivated student at best.
Gotcha.
But.
Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. I'm not one of those people who's high school was the greatest. I know people are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that wasn't me. I was kind of a late bloomer. Went from being kind of a sports guy, and still kind of am to this day. But kind of got into more guitar, music, and stuff in high school, and that was kind of my.
Would you recommend that to young kids?
Yeah,
especially getting experience all of
100%.
The and music, theater, all of that.
Absolutely. Explore everything. Do it. Yeah. Figure out what you're really into, and don't worry what other people think about it. So
As a kid, what was your dream? What was your goal to be as you grow up?
My first ever dream was I wanted to be an NBA player when I was 7. Yeah, but nobody told me I wasn't even going to be 6 feet tall, and I can't jump, and so that's out.
But that was
then I wanted to be a musician. So NBA player, rock star, and then I got to college, and so both my parents were artists. Both of them were house painters my entire life, and they did other art on the side and all that too. But for some reason, for me, I wanted to do the opposite of whatever that was. Gotcha. I wanted to be like a investment banker or an attorney or some kind of like commercial, like really corporate attorney. And that's kind of what I thought I wanted to do. But anyways, life has a way of, bringing you back to what you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah. Anyways, that was just kind of a reaction to my parents and not wanting to like do the same thing they did, wanting to do something different. But it turns out like that's not actually me at all. So,
I guess people kind of figure out what they want to do or get into as you experience, and then you grow. So
right. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know what you want to do. I say that all the time. Like, I'm a photographer now. I didn't pick up a camera. I'm 35. I didn't pick up a camera until I was 26 or 27 years old. I didn't even think of it as like a career option or anything like that until I was like 29. And then it's really clicked the last like 6 or 7 years. But
So like, let's go back. In college, what did you study? What did you wanted to get into in college?
I went to UT, so that's how I got to Austin, and I was a government major. Some people call it political science, but UT calls it government.
You wanted to get into politics, or what?
I was going to go to law school and like represent Fortune 500 companies or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
And anyways, so that was kind of my plan all along. I wasn't super passionate about it, but anyway, so I got through senior year and then had a couple internships. It was really after I graduated that I had these internships, and I even went as far. I took the LSAT multiple times, which is the law school entrance exam. I took it once, almost blind, and did mediocre. Okay, and then I was like, I gotta get serious about this. I took 6 months off, and all I did was study for the LSAT. I took every book.
Pretty much serious.
Dude, I literally ran out of books I could find to like with practice tests in them. That was like, all right, it's time to take it again. Exact same scores I got the first time. It's unbelievable. So that was a sign that was like,
that's not for you.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was the internships I was not liking at all. It's like, I don't really want to do this. And then when it comes down, I really truly believe if you want to be an attorney, you got to really, really want to do it. Because the debt is real. It was like, I don't know what it is now, but even like 15 years ago, like I was looking at taking out $200,000 out in loans on like, and these rates are going to be bad. It's going to take you forever to pay this off. And like, so anyways, at the end of the day, I was like, nope, I'm going to back away from this, say no in that. And then I got a job, working in politics actually, which was like not what I meant to do at all. I just did like an internship that led to like another, part-time and then full-time. So
what was that your first job?
Yeah. Well, no. My first paid job was Domino's Pizza. It was delivering pizzas
where you
at night. Yeah.
When was that?
Oh, that would have been like 2007 or something like that.
Gotcha.
So I did that for about a year. It is what it is.
Yeah. We have fun memories of working at different places.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I only did it for like a year, but
Gotcha.
a lot of driving around.
Yeah. All right. And how did you get into photography? What brought you to photography?
Like so many other photographers, I just got a camera. I just wanted to take like a couple high res photos of some friends, or just to have it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I started figuring out how to like use it, and then I got into like the editing software and started figuring out more and more. And so I had my politics job at the time, and by the time, hope they're not listening to this, but I spent the last 2 years completely tuned out from that job. I was all day just on YouTube, Reddit, forums, just trying to learn every piece of information I can about cameras, photography, composition, lighting, everything. There's so many like different parts of it to try to put together at once, and like having a full-time job like wasn't jiving. That I was just basically doing this job until they quit paying me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyways, it just kind of like snowballed. I'd never really planned on it. And even to that point, like I never really like, even then I didn't really like plan on making a career out of it. I just wanted to like get better at it. I just like enjoyed it so much. And it was fun for me, and I felt creative, and then
time for yourself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to try to catch like this like cool light and stuff like that for nobody other than myself. And just to create something that I thought was cool, that I could like. I didn't even have an Instagram or anything like that. I just had some pictures on the computer for like years, and I was still very like, which is the stupidest thing I did, was like being really anti-social media at the first, which is like the dumbest thing. And then
especially when you're starting
at some
off,
point,
right?
and like especially you start off, you have to get your stuff out there. You know what I mean? Anyways, so eventually somebody convinced me to like get on Instagram. And I had this like huge like years of like a backlog of a library at this point. Which was the right move. So,
Okay. And what are some of the pros and cons that you have seen or experienced in the field of photography?
Pros are you work for yourself. I mean, some people don't, but I work for myself. You can take on as much work or as much little work as much work as you want, or as little work as you want. I have complete freedom. I don't have to worry about anybody firing me. If I hated working with somebody, I don't ever have to work with them again. Just one day. You can set your own prices, and generally people are super happy when they get their photos. They're like pumped about it, and like I didn't even know that was a possibility. I spent years in like political jobs where everyone was just pissed all the time. And everyone was like, I don't think in 7 years anybody ever told me like good job. You know what I mean? Or like this is like we really like this made our day or anything like that. And I just kind of got used to like that's just how work is. It's just like. People are either like don't answer you or just kind of pissed at you all the time. And I just thought like, this is how jobs are. Your boss is supposed to be kind of a dick to you all the time. That's the way of life. And no, there are other ways to do things. So it doesn't have to be like that. I don't know if that answers the question, but
And
cons right now, I probably have a backlog of 15 photo sets. I need
so you get sometimes you get lots.
That's what I mean. I mean, like I feel like I work 7 days a week a lot of the time. But it's like it's different because it's like your own like if it's your own business, you don't mind it as much. You enjoy it. It's not a drag.
Because it's for you.
It's for you. Yeah. Exactly. But that being said, no one else is going to edit these photos. I got to sit down and do it. I can't outsource it. You got to kind of do a bunch of different things. You got to do all your own bookings, emails. It's not just the camera, your promotion, ads, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So you have to like do a little bit of everything and stuff. And so.
Okay. Yeah. And especially for like young high schoolers or college graduate who have no idea what they want to get into.
Yeah.
If let's say somebody wants to get in the field of photography, what are some of your tips for them?
If I had any regret in my life, it would be not getting into it sooner. If I had started when I was 15, oh my God, I'd be retired now. You know what I mean? I mean, not really, but you know what I mean? My advice for anybody is I really didn't, when I was growing up, I didn't try enough stuff. I just kind of was like, I guess I'm going to go to law school. It sounds easy enough. Whatever. You know what I mean? And I didn't get enough internships until way later into college too, to figure out like, oh, I actually don't like this. You know what I mean? Or this isn't for me. So, I mean, some people know exactly what they want to do from they're 5 years old. And I've just never been one of those people. So if you're not one of those people, I would say, even if you are one of those people, try a lot of different things and see, which I genuinely think there's a path to make a living on almost everything. You know what I mean? Literally, if your passion is video games, people make crazy money playing video games, but you just have to find like what you're passionate about, and that's going to take you places. I don't think the path is like, oh, this thing pays a lot of money, that's why I'm passionate about it, is really a good path to go down. You're going to end up miserable. You're not going to be very good at it. It's just, don't chase money like that. Chase your passions. Passions and dream. You make a lot of money playing tennis. You know what I mean? Or not even playing tennis, coaching tennis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways,
and any life advice for young kids?
Life advice. My life advice to people.
I have to take time thinking about this one.
Yeah. I'm sure I have tons of life advice. My life advice would be, I mean, just kind of what I said.
Don't say Don't say schedule a photo shoot on a rainy day or cloudy day.
No, yeah, yeah. Learn a little bit about lighting and composition, because even if you're just taking pictures on your phone, people don't know anything about composition.
So that's your life advice.
People commit these fatal faux pas constantly. Like one of them is like, if you took a picture of you, don't crop it at the ankles. It's a huge faux pas, and if you give somebody 9 times out of 10, that's what they do, or they cut the head off, or like. Just learn a little bit about about that kind of stuff, and it'll just take you places in life. Let's see. At life advice, I don't know. No, try a bunch of try a lot of things. Yeah. Really, try a lot of things, and try to. I mean, don't try to think about what's going to be the highest paying salary. Think about what am I really interested in, and go out and try that stuff. People will give you experience. You just have to ask people.
Gotcha.
So I get people asking me all the time if like they can come on a shoot with me, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, sure, and people don't mind.
Yeah.
So and figure out if you're into it or not. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Do I like this? Do I not like this?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see myself doing this? That's the hard part. Is like, can you see yourself doing this for, a year, or can you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life and being happy doing it? Because stuff gets, and people like, from what I see, or at least like me and my friends, you can kind of have a job cycle. Like you can start with this job and you're like, okay, I'm making real money for the first time in my life. I'm pretty happy with this job because I've had, all of a sudden I got my own apartment and all that.
True.
But then at some point that's like, okay, this isn't enough for me. I'm not getting any fulfillment out of this job. It's like, okay, I'm making a little bit of money, but there's nothing, this is vapid for me and it's not what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
I gotta, pivot to do something else. So, anyways, don't chase the
money.
Yeah, not necessarily. Okay. Yeah, unless you know, like, I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
All my parents are doctors. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a fun question here for you.
Sure.
If you could go anywhere around the world right now, where would you go and why?
Anywhere around the world, where would I go and why? Good question. So this is crazy, but every now and then I'll just put on like a virtual road trip in the background, and they're on YouTube and stuff like that. But I saw one of South Africa the other day, and it looked unbelievable. So, and I was like, anyways, I'd like to go to South Africa just because I recently saw, like, I had no idea how beautiful it is on the coast there. It's unbelievable. You been?
I have not.
No.
I obviously.
You just went to the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have. It's gonna be quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to South Africa. I'm trying to think what else. I'd love to go to Ireland. I want to see these like Highland cliffs in Ireland. As a photographer, like cloudy weather is the best. So they have cloudy weather all the time there. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Zach. Thank you.
And
thank you for being here, man.
Of course. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.